Hi everyone, it's Leslie from Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and I'm finally jumping on the Taylor Swift bandwagon and making some Taylor Swift cookies. So I'm going to outline and flood in this cookie with white royal icing in about a 15-second consistency. I'm not going to worry about smoothing it out too much because I'm going to use a embossed piece of parchment paper with a brick pattern to put a texture on the background. So I just laid my parchment down and then I'm gently pressing it into the icing. I'm going to let it dry completely and then I will peel it off and there's my brick. So I'm doing a cookie of Taylor's version, the song Red, and I found some clip art on the internet and I traced that onto my cookie, and I'm just going to flood in the different sections. I'm using an off-white royal icing in about a 15 to 20-second consistency. And I'm going to let those sections dry and then I will paint over them to make them the right color later. So I am using a stiffer consistency for all of these little sections because little sections of royal icing have a tendency to crater and I don't want that to happen, so I'm using a stiffer consistency and I'm slightly overfilling each of the sections, but because the icing is stiffer, I will have to work with it with my Scribe to get it to settle down. And I'm going to let each section dry for about 10 minutes before I pipe the section that is right next to it. And I'm going to be using my Scribe a lot to settle the icing down and get it into the corners. Now for the hands, I'm going to draw 2 lines for each finger, separating them, and I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I go back and flood in the hand. And for the interior cuff of the sleeve, I'm just going to paint that in because I don't want it to have any depth to it. I want it to be flat. And I'm just going to continue outlining sections and flooding them in, letting each one that is touching each other dry for about 10 to 15 minutes before I continue. Now this hand is the most difficult part because I don't want the fingers to all blend in together, so I'm going to kind of pipe one finger and smooth it out and then go across to the other side of the hand and pipe another finger and smooth it out and carefully do that so that when I jiggle it with my Scribe, it does not cause it all to run together. And I'm going to add a little bit more icing to the hand and the fingers and carefully jiggle the icing to settle it down. And I'll kind of use a paintbrush that is just very lightly damp to add definition between those fingers. And I'll continue to fill in sections, letting each section dry before I go back and add in the next section. And I want the bottom of the hat to be puffier than it is, so I'm going to pipe over it and pipe it again so it sticks out away from Taylor's face. So I let my cookie dry completely overnight, and now I am taking a soft brush from Borderlands Bakery and I am going to put a little squiggle of brown icing onto the coat and kind of dab at it up and down in order to give the coat a fabric appearance. And I let that dry completely, and now I'm going to go back in with some edible paint. I'm using gel food color and I mixed it with a little bit of food grade glycerin, and I'm going to paint it in the creases and then kind of drag it out with a flat brush to give it more of like some shadows and kind of blend the color. I'm mostly focusing on just defining the edges and putting some shadows in places, and then I will go back with my detail paintbrush and put in any lines in order to further define her coat. And I want to paint her hair more of a golden blonde, dirty blonde, golden brown color. So I'm going to use some gel color in kind of a yellow tone. And then after that dries a little bit, I'll go back and add some brown low lights to it to kind of make it that dirty blonde or light brown color. Can't you just hear Taylor Swift's Red in the background while I decorate this cookie? And now I'm just going to pipe in some red lips and the buttons on her jacket. I'll let the bottom lip dry before I go back and add the top lip. And we can't forget to pipe the ring on her finger. I'm just going to use some white icing that I will paint silver later. And then I had piped some circles onto some parchment paper and I let it dry overnight, and I'm just going to write the word red on the circles and I'm going to attach them to my cookie with a dot of royal icing and kind of make the little friendship bracelet look. And that's it. That's my red cookie. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed Taylor Swift's music, and it was fun finally getting an opportunity to make a cookie. Thanks so much for watching. Follow my channel for more tutorials every week. Bye!